So I recently attended the Fuji Kina event that Fujifilm Nordic had put on here in Copenhagen, where photographers were talking through their work and their photography process. Capture One were also there showing off their latest updates and giving people a live walkthrough of photo editing and how to use the platform. And also, most importantly, we got to play around with some expensive Fujifilm GFX cameras. I was interested in going to this event not only because I wanted to play around with those cameras, but there was also a lot of photographers who I wanted to hear speak. There was Richie Roche from Fuji X Weekly. I've been following him on social media for 7 years or so now. So it was great to meet him in person and hear about his process and how he started with Fuji X Weekly. I didn't really have any expectations for this event. I guess I was just showing up and then going with the flow. I knew there was photographers there that I wanted to see, but it was just good to see not only the Fujifilm community together in Copenhagen, but also just the photography community in general. I think Copenhagen definitely needs a few more events like this throughout the year. I was planning on only attending the Saturday event, but there was a couple of talks that I missed on that day, so I did end up going again on the Sunday. The vibe was a little bit different on the Sunday because I think a lot of people were at the Copenhagen Marathon. I know there was a lot of photographers there that were shooting the marathon, so it had a slightly different vibe to what the Saturday was, but it was still a good time. And most importantly for me, that's the Sunday is when I got my hands on the cameras and was able to have a play around with them. But yeah, overall Saturday was a good day. I was there with my fellow YouTube friend here in Copenhagen, Rumler. I'll link his channel down in the description below if you want to go and subscribe to him. Maybe you already are. But yeah, we had a good day, grabbed a little coffee and a pastry before the event, and then we were there together all day. But yeah, as I mentioned, Sunday didn't really carry the same vibe as what Saturday had. But to be honest, it was more interesting for me because then that's when I got my hands on the cameras and was able to play around with specifically the Fujifilm GFX 100S with the 55mm f1.7 lens and the Fuji GFX 100 RF, the fixed lens, bigger brother, more expensive version of the X100V. But yeah, that's the first time ever playing around with Fujifilm's medium format cameras. Of course, they're super nice. I won't go on about the specs too much as there's a million videos already on these cameras talking through specs and stuff, but having 102 megapixels on a medium format sensor is absolutely insane. The crops that you can make with these cameras and still maintain super sharp images is ridiculous. But straight off the bat, the GFX 100S is a heavy bit of kit, and then when you're pairing that with the medium format lenses, I had the camera for around 2 hours and my shoulder was just getting such a workout. But the first thing I noticed when picking up the camera or getting my hands on the camera was just how easy it is to use. Very similar to any other Fujifilm camera that you might have used. The menu layouts are exactly the same. It was very easy to put it into aperture priority, switch to RAW, single point AF, and then away you go. If you've had a play around with like the Fuji XEs or the XTs, then picking up these more expensive medium format cameras, you definitely feel at home using them. And it was a very similar story with the GFX 100 RF. I've been wanting to get my hands on that camera ever since it came out. like I said, it's the bigger brother to the X100V, more expensive obviously, way bigger sensor, but I was slightly underwhelmed when I was using it. And again, I only had it for about 45 minutes to an hour max, but it was just a little bit, I don't know if it's the wider lens, so it's a 28mm on a full frame equivalent, but there was just something about it that I just couldn't, I don't know, get on with it. I was actually quite happy going back to my X100V, weirdly. Yeah, I don't know, it just didn't feel as good as I thought it would, and the shooting experience just wasn't as good as I thought it was going to be. I don't know, maybe I built it up more in my head. I wasn't blown away by the f4 lens. I know this is me being picky here because f4 on a medium format is still pretty insane, but I think for the price point that they've got the camera at, I think they could have gone down to like a 2.8 or a f2. I'm not so bothered by IBIS, but I know a lot of people mentioned that it should have come with IBIS as well. That's here or there for me, but yeah, just, I don't know, I feel like I wanted it to be great, and don't get me wrong, it is a great piece of kit, very fantastic camera, but just not one that I'd be rushing out to buy. But listen, if Fujifilm do stumble across this video, I'm not going to be like, no, I don't want to use that. I would, if they said, Robbie, here's the GFX 100 RF for 30 days, of course I'm going to fucking take it. But if they do see this video, I'd rather the GFX 100S too. Thank you. But overall, it was a great event. I think Fujifilm done very well putting this event on. And again, it was very nice to have it here in Copenhagen. I think we need more events like this here. It was good to meet new people, good to see people who I've been following for years, finally meet them in person, hear about their journey, hear about their work, see how they're capturing stuff. So yeah, really good time. Picked up a little bit of merch as well, got a few t-shirts, a few coasters, a few little pins. But if you did enjoy this video, please make sure to give it a thumbs up, really helps the channel. And also, if you're not subscribed and you've stumbled across this video, please subscribe to the channel. Still trying to get to 1,000 subs. And yeah, with that being said, thank you for watching. As always, I'll see you in the next video.